What up, guys? What is up? It's Shani with Healing Elements here for another timeless reading, you guys. This is for anytime you're directed to come to this page. I wanted to create a whole bunch of timeless, meaningful messages and readings. This is out of 2 decks. The green one you just saw there is the Archangel Raphael healing deck, and the one with the angel on it is messages from your angels. Both, by the way, from somebody who is not in the spiritual game anymore, Dorian Virtue, but they're still wonderful cards, and it is special to me. It's one of the first 2 decks that I got. I got it in a set back in 2016, and so beautifully, orchestrated are the messages still, regardless of if the author has chosen to go in a different direction. So guys, I will go ahead and shuffle and get you a few cards. Let's see what wants to come out. Basically, the 2 decks are exactly equal, amount of number of cards. So curious to see if you need a little bit more advice as far as healing, any kind of physical usually, or, it's mostly the Archangel Raphael is all about the healer, right? And so there's a lot of, maybe don't drink caffeine, maybe detoxify, maybe talking about eating organic foods, things like that. So you got one. Oh, and here you go with, looks like messages from your angels. It looks like emotional in this reading would be good advice for you guys to take a look and, do some self-reflecting. Yes, the majority of them are messages. Interesting. It depends. Sometimes when I use this deck, it'll come up all, healing cards, the green ones, but we will get you started with the messages from your angels. And the first card, Aha, is all about, this card says daydream, but is all about dreams in general. So it's also talking about that daydream void state. If you maybe remember when you were a child and you kind of gazed off, I did a lot of that, still do. I'm a Pisces, right? Which Neptune and Piscean energies are associated with this card. It is all about what is in our, subconscious, what is in our dream state. And this card is telling you to take, a look at the moments in which you can. It's always hard, but say you're taking a break. Maybe you're accustomed to talking to somebody. This is asking you to go into that hermit mode, that self-reflecting, introspective mode, and so which you can, work things out that may come to you when you're in the void. I call it the void, when you're just kind of dazing off. And if you can, liken this to meditation, of course, that's where we are able to be present and put our mind completely still and silent on nothing else. And it takes a long time, at least it took me a long time to build it. You can, think about before you get in that void. So you're, brainstorming and working. Everybody multitasks. So while you're doing a project or sending your emails out, or maybe on the net, whatever you're doing, maybe you're outside, with a group of people, but whenever your mind, tends to, drift, I think that perhaps assertiveness will come into play as far as what you can think of when you do go into that daydream state, that void space. Maybe you need to, this card is telling you that assertiveness is different than aggressiveness, and so it is okay, maybe you are not finding it easy to be assertive, but this card is asking you to exert your power in that way and not be afraid to tell it like it is and to express exactly what you expect, because everyone has a right, an entitlement to express what they need and expect. And as long as it's in a, healthy way in which you communicate this, then this card is all about that. It's all about asserting your needs, asserting your, nature, your true nature. So getting into your authentic self and whatever, you are called to be assertive about, because even if you are, an introvert, there are some areas in your life in which you have to be assertive and you want to be and you're called and drawn to be. So this card right here asks you to pay attention to that and that notion, maybe when you feel you're being held back, and just don't be afraid to be assertive. And this next card is all about your inner child or children in which have been a part of a mainframe, of your life that has built either traumas or happy times. So if you have children around you, or if you teach, if you are working with any kind of community members, or perhaps this is telling you, generally when I get this card, I really read that it tells you to kind of, just like I do pretty much every morning when I've been doing my yoga, there is instruments, beautiful Tibetan, designed park. It's so gorgeous here in Sunnyvale. And I will, play around around with the musical instruments and just let that free flowing spirit of an inner child, what you used to do, kind of carefree. You know, it only takes like 2 minutes, but that is good therapy for me. The whole set is like less than an hour, and that, you know, fits into my work day. Anything that you can do around your schedule, get down on the floor and play with your baby, or, you know, go to the park and play by yourself, like a badminton racket and a badminton or volleyball, something like that. Get into something as far as enjoying what calls to you, even if it is childish. So, you know, for instance, you want to go to the water slides, you haven't been there in a long time, and you haven't even thought that you would like to do it. If it comes into, you know, to your focal point when you are doing that reflecting, perhaps in that daydream void space, you know, maybe you need to go and do what my son and I love to do at least once a year during the summer, is go, you know, if you're lucky enough to be close to a body of water, we like to go to the beach and just body surf. He's the only one out of my family of 5 or 6, you know, that enjoys that. And it's just, you know, he's not a child either, 19, but we've always enjoyed it, and it does bring back that childlike innocence, which is important. And this card is called acceptance. So this is talking about accepting help and also accepting what, you know, path that you are on due to the choices that you've made in the past, and accepting and asking for help, because perhaps you are someone who is not asserting, just like the other card we got, the assertiveness. Maybe you're not asserting your need for help. I know in the past that I have failed on that. I'm getting much better the last year, reaching out and saying, hey, healers need healing too, put out videos about it, talk to, you know, soul family members when I need to, you know, instead of dealing with things like a tough person on your own, accept help, and, you know that this is not a this is a vulnerability, but, you know, not a negative vulnerability. Being vulnerable is beautiful because you're able to heal what you need to heal, and do so not alone, with the helping hand of, you know, you get by with a little help from your friends. So this card is the Cupid card. So talking about opening your heart to love, or perhaps this is going to be a absolutely abundant time period full of love. I know that that is the case in a couple of astrological aspects regarding Venus, and just other things are beautiful. You know, making this nurturing season of Virgo, the, you know, maiden, the mother Gaia type of archetype, caring for the forest, kind of like that Artemis, if you know who that is, in the Greek mythology. And Cupid card asks you to truly enjoy feeling the love back and giving it, because, as you know, we have times in our life where we are, you know, anxious and have grief or whatnot. You know, there's going to be times in which we are not able to let it in. And here we go. Yes, interesting. This card is called hydration, so it's obviously asking you to take more care, and it's something that a lot of people either are really good about or sometimes forget. I know that I had in the past 2 years, but I've been good since April, flushing myself with water. So guys, drink a lot of water, a lot of hydration, a lot of fluid. That helps the, you know, spiritual awakening. It helps the body physically and mentally, and, you know, I wish you nothing but success whenever you do happen to catch this reading. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Sending love, light, all that good stuff. Tons of positive vibage and hope, right, for some non-tumultuous energy coming up in the future.